Rule number 4, place a comma before a conjunction introducing an independent clause. Students love joining two independent clauses. It is also known as a compound or a complex sentence when you have two parts of the sentence where each part has its own idea. It has its own subject and verb. Then students place a comma and then add in a conjunction, a joining word such as in the meaning of because, for, or, nor, while, meaning at the same time. So if you look at these sentences here, the early records of the city have disappeared, comma, and the story of its first years can no longer be reconstructed. The situation is perilous, comma, but there is still one chance to escape. Now, if an independent clause means that part of the sentence could be expressed by itself as its own idea, a dependent clause means that it's going to need a little bit of help. So, if we look at this sentence here, the situation is perilous, comma, but if we are prepared to act promptly, comma, there is still one chance of escape. This looks similar to a previous rule about parenthetical information. And the rule is if a dependent clause or an introductory phrase requiring to be set off by a comma precedes the second independent clause, no comma is needed after the conjunction, which is the fancy way of saying you do not need to write this sentence. The situation is perilous, comma, but, comma, if we are prepared to act promptly, and so forth. Just insert that dependent clause in the middle like you would with any parenthetical information. Now, when the subject is the same for both clauses and is expressed only once, a comma is useful if the connective is but. When the connective is and, the comma should be omitted if the relationship between the two statements is close or immediate. Example, I have heard the arguments, comma, but am still unconvinced, as opposed to he has several years' experience and is thoroughly competent. As we're going to see, particularly in the next rule, what you want to avoid is replacing that period with a comma, then putting another independent clause, comma, independent clause, comma. You need to know when to put in a period and begin a new sentence, otherwise you're going to run into comma splices.